As fighting rages in Israel one day after Hamas fighters launched a surprise attack, the death toll continues to rise.
Now the White House is announcing military assistance is being moved closer to Israel. Courtney Spinelli joins us live in the newsroom with the latest on the conflict and the U.S. response.
Jackie and Tamar, more than 1,100 people have died and thousands have been wounded on both sides. According to the National Security Council, several Americans are among the dead. As war against Hamas in Gaza ramps up, the U.S. government says it will be rapidly providing Israel Defense Forces with additional equipment and resources, including munitions. Israel formally declaring war against Hamas Sunday and pounding Gaza with airstrikes after Hamas fighters breached the border one day prior in a surprise attack. The death toll climbing as more than 700 people in Israel and more than 400 Palestinians have died.
This is the worst attack on Israel since the Yom Kippur War in 1973, 50 years ago.
Early reports indicate at least 4 American citizens were killed in the attacks, with 7 more missing and unaccounted for. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken joining CNN Sunday morning, noting the attack in 73 was a conventional war between countries, while calling this a, quote, massive terrorist attack on Israeli civilians.
Indiscriminate firing of rockets against civilians, thousands of rockets. Men and women and children dragged across the border into Gaza, including a Holocaust survivor in a wheelchair.
On Sunday, Hamas claiming to have taken a large number of hostages from Israel, bringing them back to Gaza. Reports showing civilians were attacked and snatched from towns along highways and at a techno music festival in the Israeli desert.
A barbaric pogrom of unparalleled magnitude. Ruthless terrorists gunned down innocent Israeli civilians in the streets, murdering anything that moved.
The Israeli permanent representative to the United Nations condemning the attacks. Meantime, the permanent observer of the state of Palestine to the United Nations telling the UN Israel needs to change course, that there is a path to peace where no one on either side is killed.
Our people have endured one deadly year after another. We came to the Security Council month after month, warning of the consequences of Israeli impunity.
The U.S. announcing Sunday the Ford Carrier Strike Group has been ordered to sail to the eastern Mediterranean, standing ready to assist Israel. The Navy's newest and most innovative aircraft carrier has about 5,000 sailors, a deck of warplanes, and will be accompanied by destroyers and cruisers. According to Politico, the White House may also be considering releasing a stockpile of American ammunition stored in Israel, citing a U.S. official.
In terms of the intelligence, there'll be plenty of time in days to come to look and see what anyone missed, what we could have done better. Right now, the focus is on helping Israel, making sure that it has what it needs to deal with this attack.
The U.S. Secretary of Defense says these steps are to help strengthen the U.S.'s military posture in the region to bolster regional deterrence efforts. As far as the American citizens killed and injured in these attacks, an official who spoke anonymously with the Associated Press says most, if not all, are dual U.S.-Israeli citizens. Reporting tonight in the newsroom, Courtney Spinelli, WGN News.
Thank you, Courtney. Palestinian Americans gathered this afternoon outside the Israeli consulate in Chicago. They say Chicago and its suburbs has the largest U.S. population of people who claim Palestinian heritage, as well as thousands who have family in the region. So they have the perspective of Gaza being a very densely populated area, which they say Israel has now turned into a prison.
And they are being bombed mercilessly right now by the Israelis. And so the question is, how long should the Palestinians be expected to just quietly die before they react?
Those there today say they don't agree with President Biden's support for Israel.